So very quickly, just the answers, and then I'll go over whichever ones you want me to do. Number 1, it crosses at -1 comma -2, I think, yes? Number 2 crosses at 0 comma 1. And then I cheated and went to my graphing calculator for the rest of these. So number 3, 3 comma 2, 1 mark for the 3, 1 mark for the 2. Number 4, -4 comma 0, 1 mark, 1 mark. By the way, on your test, I won't give you 1 mark for the answer, 1 mark for the answer. I will give you probably a half mark for the answer, 1.5 marks for the work. I will reward you for the work. And I will try and track down if you made 1 mistake, you'll get 1.5 out of 2 and that kind of a thing. Solving by substitution. Oh yes, make sure that you use the elimination, the addition method, so you added and caused variables to cancel out. Number 5, solving by substitution, 4 comma 5, I think. And number 6, 3 comma 2. Number 7, this one I actually had to work out because my graphing calculator didn't help at all. Let's zoom in a bit more. Oh, a little too much, Mr. Dueck. Yoink. So I got rid of brackets, brought all my x's and y's to the same side. That was my equation number 1. Brought all my x's and y's to the same side if you're getting rid of brackets. That was my equation number 2. I noticed that elimination worked quite nicely because I had a positive 2y and a negative 2y. So I said, oh, 5x equals -30, x equals -6, and then when you plugged it back in, y equals 8. And the last one, I cheated on my graphing calculator again, 2 comma 1. So having said that, any of these that you actually wanted me to do where you were going, I can't see where I zigged or what I did wrong, now is your chance to ask. Or if you left one blank, I saw a few of you that were a little unsure with the fraction one, I'll do it, but I need somebody to ask. Whichever ones you want me to do, go ahead. Yeah? Number 6. Love to do number 6. Okay, did you try it? Yeah. Which equation and what letter did you get by itself?
X and number 2.
So the second equation. So because I'm guessing, because I've watched you, Marcus, you know what you're doing. It's going to be a mistake. We're just going to try and track it down, and suddenly your body will twitch, and you'll get mad at yourself, and then we'll know. So you did this. 2y take away 1. Yeah. Okay. If you have that, put a little check mark next to that line because we know that's right. This is how I look for errors in this, by the way. When I know I've made a mistake, this is how I go hunting. I turn myself into a teacher. And then you went, plugged it into here. So you went 7 bracket 2y minus 1 plus y equals 23. Yes? Put a check mark next to that line. And then hopefully, Marcus, you went 14y take away 7 plus y equals 23. Oh, you just dropped the 33 down? Yeah. So we call that a transcription error. Yeah, it's called reading your own writing wrong. So there you go. By the way, I'll keep going since I'm nearly there, Marcus, my friend. I think you'll get 15y minus 7 equals 23, plus 7 to both sides. You'll get 15y equals 30, y equals 2, and then x equals 2 times 2 minus 1. X equals 3. Is that what it was? 3 comma 2? I hope. Is that okay? Was I right? Sloppy mistake? Yeah. Your method was fine because I glanced at yours when I was going through the room. Any others? Number 8, I'll do it, but somebody needs to ask me. Y'all got number 8? I saw some blank. Okay. Do you want me to do number 8? You were away, but I'll do it because, sure. I'm going to absolutely give you one. By the way, you can expect 1 like this, not 10, 1 like this on your test. And you can expect 1, maybe even 2 with fractions because you got to get used to fractions. Oh, because if you're dealing with an equation, you don't need to deal with fractions. You can get rid of them. So number 8, the first thing that I would do is go times by 8, times by 8, times by 8. Because then I'll get 4x plus 3y equals 11. I would times by 3, times by 3, and you multiply that by 3. It's not a fraction, mister. It is a fraction. First of all, you have to multiply everything by 3. That's the rule. And it is a fraction. It is, yeah. And anything's a fraction, right? Because what's everything over, technically?
1.
It's over 1. I don't have to write that. I can just see it in my mind. When I do that, I'll get 5x minus y equals 9. Is that okay so far? Do you want to use substitution or do you want to use elimination? You know what? Because you guys are better at substitution, I'll do elimination since you need to know that anyhow. I would probably go times by 3, times by 3, times by 3, because that's going to give me a 3y and a negative 3y. You could multiply the top one by 5 and the bottom one by negative 4 and cancel out the x's as well, Simi, but you've had me long enough to know if there's a shortcut or a quicker way, I'll take it because I'm efficiently lazy. Yes? I'll get this, the first equation, and the second equation, and I'll add, and I get 19x equals 38. Hey, divide by 19, x equals 2. I can figure out what y is. If I go back, I'm going to erase the 3's for a second. If I go back to that equation, what's x?
2.
5 times 2 is? 10 take away what equals 9? I think I can do that in my head, and I'm pretty sure y has to be 1. It was 2 comma 1, right? I hope?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. And substitution would have been perfectly acceptable here as well, Ty, because I didn't say which method you had to use. I'm just sensing more of you are comfortable with substitution than you are with elimination. And it's also, you've probably picked up, Brady, on my bias. I like substitution better. It's just not as useful because it doesn't work for yucky equations. Elimination does. Can you give yourself a nice clear score out of 16? If you were away, can you hand your quiz in with an omit? If you didn't do it, sorry, you're going to lose some marks here. And pass them inwards, please. Example 4. Word problem. No, we're not calling them word problems. We're calling them word opportunities. Just because. Okay? And I've tried to teach you how I handle these. Today, your homework is you're going to be getting 16 word problems. I think 16. Okay? Some will be pretty straightforward. Some will be yucky. And I'll be going over them all and giving you lots of time on Wednesday as well. Again, Amy, some of the stuff just takes practice. I don't know of a way to say, here, everybody gets it the first time right away without having to try it. Speaking of Amy, can you read example 4 to me, please?
Mr. Dueck walked and jogged for 2 hours on a treadmill.
See? Okay, keep going.
If he walked for 20 minutes more than he jogged, for how long did he walk? How long did he jog?
I made this question up, and again, it's a stupid question in that, Amber, wouldn't Mr. Dueck actually know these answers? Yes, he would. What I'm trying to do is model a way that you can use a system to solve for some unknowns. Amy, what are we being asked to find?
For how long he walked and jogged.
2 things?
Yeah.
How many variables? How many equations? Okay. What do you want to use for the variables?
W and J.
You know what? How about W and J? Because those don't look like any weird numbers. And W for walk and J for jog. X and Y, I would have no problem because I know some of you, that's your security blanket. But sure. How about, yep. Let's get my ribbon back. There we go. Click. How about W, how far walked? J, how far? Sorry, it's not how far. How long, isn't it? Whoops. Read the question properly. How long jogged? I am actually in training on May the 24th. I'm doing the Run for Water, the 10K in Abbotsford with my niece, and she's going to lead me in the dust, but I want to stick with her for at least the first couple of kilometers. Okay. Amy, go back to the beginning and read, please.
Mr. Dueck walked.
Stop. I think W. Walked, yes? Read again.
walked into
Stop. And.
Plus
I'm thinking, keep going.
for 2 hours on a treadmill.
Can you give me an equation?
W plus J equals 2.
See it? By the way, I'm already seeing, compared to last day, just having this percolate through your brains over the weekend, more eyes are going, yeah, this is obvious now. It's going to click at different rates for different groups of you. So I agree, one equation, W plus J equals 2. Keep reading, Amy.
If he walked for 20 minutes.
Problem. 20 what? 2 what?
Hours.
20 what?
Minute.
Minutes. 2 what?
Hours.
It's not going to work. We either need to have everything in minutes or everything in hours. Now, I probably won't throw one this sneaky at you on a... Well, I've seen these on the provincial where they do this and they expect you to pay attention. 2 hours. How many minutes?
120.
Let's fix our equation number 1 and do that. And if you want to, you can make a little note up here, 120 minutes, so that when you're studying and looking at your notes later on, you know where the heck that 120 came from. Oh, also, by the way, looking at equation 1, Sam, I have a feeling I may just go with substitution. Why? Because it's going to be easy to get the W and or the J by itself. Although, who knows? So read the second sentence again, Amy, please.
If he walked.
Stop. Right? 4, I think that's actually saying, put an equal sign. Keep reading.
For 20 minutes more than he jogged.
I said to you, when you come to a phrase that has more than or less than or greater, read backwards. So, jogged, 20 more than. With more than, the order isn't as important. If you'd written 20 plus J, you'd still be okay. It's when it's less than or subtraction, the order makes a difference. So I figure I'll always teach you to read backwards along the sentence. You know what? I was right. I am going to use substitution, but I'm not going to rewrite equation 1 because equation 2 already has the W by itself. Yes? Good. Solve this on your own, boys and girls. Stick this equation into that equation there. I got that, and Brady, I quickly double-checked. I said, does that add to 2 hours? Yeah, it does, 120 minutes, so yay. Apparently, I walked for 70 minutes and jogged for 50 minutes. Again, stupid question in terms of what we're trying to find, but hopefully it's letting you get the feel for our procedure. Let's try another one. Alex S., my friend, can you read example 5 to me, please?
When 20 bolts are placed inside a box, the total mass is 340 grams. When there are 48 bolts in the box, the total mass is 760 grams. Find the mass of one bolt and the mass of the box.
What are they asking me to find?
The mass of one bolt and the mass of the box.
I was going to say B for bolt, but unfortunately, what letter would I also use for... You know what? I'm going to go with X and Y, because otherwise it's going to be B and B. I even thought about going B for bolt and M for mass of the box, but it's also mass of the bolt, and I'm going to get confused. So here I'll fall back on X and Y. 2 things, 2 equations. Let's go... If I had been really clever, I just thought of this now, and I'm not going to go change it, I would have let X be the box because the word box has what letter in it.
X.
That might be a dumb, stupid way to help me keep track of stuff. I just thought of that afterwards, and I'm not going to go change that, but you start kind of, hey, how can I avoid the mistakes, right? Alex, can you read the first sentence to me, please?
When 20 volts.
Stop. How could I write 20 volts?
20.
20x? Sure. Keep reading, starting with the word R.
Are placed inside a box. The total mass is 340 grams.
Now, total implies a mathematical operation. What? That's not a mathematical operation, and total doesn't imply equals. Is implies equals, and 340. But if I ask you, what's the total? What mathematical operation? Huh?
Addition.
It means addition. Plus what? Huh? Because I asked you. Yeah, okay. You know what? 20 bolts and 1 box. Greg, you gonna make it? Because you were even a little bit lower before when I looked again. Drool, head on the side. Sit up. Trust me, it helps. Keep reading, Alex, my friend. When?
When there are 48 volts.
Stop.
48.
Yep. Inside the box is what?
760.
Now, I could use substitution. Ready? Here's me being clever. I'm going to multiply that bottom equation by -1. Why?
Elimination.
See, if I just do this, boom, 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 I can add already. Because it's my 1 times table. That's even easier, I think, than substitution, my 1 times table. Sam, I would have no problem if you got a y by itself and did that. But you see, you can be a little clever. Because now I can add, I get negative 28x equals negative 420. By the way, I know that the weight should be positive. Am I going to get a positive answer? That's because when I saw that first negative, that's why I went, ugh. But then I saw, oh, I got a second negative. I am going to get a positive weight. It's going to be a mass that's positive. Does it work out evenly? Doesn't have to, because I think you can have a bolt weigh like 8.6 grams or something, so it doesn't have to. What is it? Negative 420 divided by negative 28? What do you get?
Oh. You get exactly 15.
Oh, positive 15 grams? And let's stick that into equation 1. It'll be 20 times 15 plus y equals 340, right? I think the answer is going to be 40. Amy's not, because I think it's 300. Let's write that. 300 plus y equals 340. Do we actually need to solve, or can we 300 plus what equals 340? I think 40. Yes? So, bolt, 15 grams, box, 40 grams. I think I got 6, 7, and 8, or just 6 and 7? 6 and 7. Okay, yep. 2 more. Vehicle rentals. Car rentals. Sam, my friend, can you read example 6 to me, please?
The cost of renting a car depends on the number of days it is rented and how far it is driven. The cost for 1 day and 240 kilometers is $39. The cost for 3 days and 800 kilometers is $125. What is the cost per day and cost per kilometer?
Okay. What are they asking me to find?
The cost per day and the cost per kilometer.
By the way, you'll notice most of the time what they're asking me to find will be the last sentence. Not always. They could start this out. They could say, find the cost per day and cost per kilometer if the cost of... They could put it at the front, but usually it's at the end. How many variables?
2.
How many equations? Okay, what do you want to use for letters?
D and K.
D and K? Is that okay? No pun intended? Okay. So, D arrow $sign per day. Is the $sign a good abbreviation for the word cost? Money? Sure. K arrow $sign per kilometer. You could have used D for day and F for far, but sure, D and K works. Could have used X and Y. I think that first sentence doesn't actually have an equation in it. I think that's the setup. It's saying, you know what? How much it costs depends on the number of days and how far it's driven. So, Sam, start reading the second sentence beginning with the word the.
The cost for 1 day.
Stop. 1 day.
D.
Keep reading.
And
Stop. Plus, right? Keep reading.
240 kilometers.
Stop.
Okay.
240K.
240K? I think that's, yeah. 240 of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep reading.
Is
Stop.
equal
Yep. Equals what?
30.
39. Keep going.
The cost for 3 days.
Stop.
3D.
3D, like most movies nowadays. Keep going.
And
Stop. Plus. Keep going.
800 kilometers.
Say what? 800K. Keep going.
Is equals 125.
All right, how do you want to solve this, folks? Substitution. You could multiply the top equation by -3 and use elimination. Perfectly fine. You said substitution? Sure. Which one? The top one, yes? So if I hear you correctly, you're saying that D equals 39 take away 240. Okay. By the way, costs, will they be negative or positive when I find these numbers? They're going to be positive. There's no way that the company's paying you to rent their car for them, right? They're not losing money. So if I get a negative answer, I know I've zigged. I'll go check my signs. I'll make sure I've copied down numbers correctly, all the tricks we've been picking up, yes? And you're saying that that can go into here? I think so. How much room have I got? Oh, lots of room. So 3 bracket 39 minus 240K close bracket plus 800K equals 125. Three times 39, well, 3 times 40 would be 120. So 3 times 39 is going to be 117. Minus 720. Okay. Plus 800K equals 125. $117 negative 720K plus 800K. Minus 117 from both sides, yes?
Yep.
You'll get 80K equals 8. What does K equal? You know what? Since we're talking cost, don't we usually give cost and money as decimals? In fact, we always go to 2 decimal places, dollars and cents. What do you get? 0.1? You know what? It's 10 cents a kilometer. I mean, we'll write it as dollars, $0.1 per kilometer, but it's 10 cents a kilometer. Which, that seems about okay. Oh! Stick that there. D equals 39 minus 240 times 0.1. I think 240 times 0.1 is just going to be 24. I think it's really 39, take away 24. Is it 15? Someone double check me. Is it? Amber, 15? Yeah? No? Yeah?
Yeah, 15.
15? 39 minus 240 times 0.1. Do the 240 times 0.1. Don't forget your bed mass, right? Although most of your calculators do that automatically. You know what? It's 15 bucks every day and 10 cents a kilometer. And that's how most car rentals do it. Sometimes, because I'm assuming none of you have rented a car yourself yet, when you're older, many of you will rent a car at least once. Sometimes they'll offer you, oh, we'll give you 200 kilometers per day free, and everything after that is where we'll charge you or whatever. But so, final answer, $15 per day, $0.10, but I wouldn't say that. I would say 10 cents per kilometer. Last one. I shall read this one. This is tough. Mr. Dueck invested $2,000. He invested part of the money at 8% per annum. Now, per annum is a financial term. That's actually per year, but they don't say per year when they're talking about a mortgage or an investment. It's per annum. They like to pull out some Latin. So when you see per annum, just think annually. It's the same root word. And the rest of it at 10% per annum. If you earned $190 in total interest after 1 year, how much was invested at each rate? What are they asking me to find here? X can be the amount at, what was the first rate? 8%? Y can be the amount at 10%. Ty, can you read the first sentence to me, kiddo? No, the first sentence. That's an equation. That's why this is tough, because this one doesn't have as obvious equations. Can anybody see the equation? That's how much money there was grand total. Ty, you're correct. To start out, I split up that $2,000 into 2 different groups. Mr. Dueck, why wouldn't you just invest it all at 10%? Because in real life, if you're getting a higher rate of return, there's more risk. So you might say, I'll put some of it into an investment where I get less return, but it's a safer investment, and I'll put some of it into a higher return, but I could lose my money. In case you're wondering. It's always some kid, well, I would just invest it all in the highest amount. You might lose it all. Our next equation is going to have to somehow use that 8%, that 10%, and that 190. Put your pencils down. Really, here's what we're saying. 8% of x plus 10% of y adds to 190 bucks. That's what that information is saying. 8% of however much I invested at x and 10% of however much I invested y. I earned, don't write that down yet because we're going to change it. That's not mathematical yet. I earned 190 bucks. Now here's the question. How can I translate that into math? Little trick for you. What's the word that appears twice in that little statement? Of. So, total means add. Difference meant subtract. Which mathematical operation does of mean?
Multiply.
It means multiply, as it turns out. Most of the time. I think I just showed you that the other day, didn't I? Was it you? I think it, yeah. Of means multiply. Of means multiply. When you say half of 6, it's really a half times 6, 3. Of means multiply. So, I'm going to think times and times. Not done yet. Don't write that down. Now, the next question. We've got to do some Math 8 review. How do I find 8% of something? Of means multiply. But I'm not going to go 8 times x. Because you can't do math with a percent as is. What did you have to do with a percentage before you could do math with it?
0.08.
Ah, Simi, joy of my heart. Did you hear her? She said, Mr. Dueck, it's going to be 0.08. That's 8% of x. And 10% is going to be 0.1. Do I have to write the 0? Can I skip writing the 0? Times y. That's 10% of y. Add it up to how much? 190 bucks. That there is the equation. What do you want to use?
Substitution.
Could use substitution. Could multiply that first equation by negative 0.1, because then your y's would cancel. And negative 0.1 is not too bad a number to do math with. You could do substitution. You could multiply that first equation by negative 0.08. Also work. But substitution was suggested. Okay. I'm assuming you're talking about the first equation?
Yes.
What do you want to get by itself?
X.
So you're saying that x equals 2,000 minus y.
Yes.
Okay. This is going to be decimals. I can deal with it. Yoink. Right into there. So we're going to get 0.08 bracket 2,000 minus y plus 0.1 y equals 190 bucks. Now we're on to Feldsad. 0.08 times 2,000. Is that going to be 160? Someone double check me.
Yes.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
I can do decimals in my head. It's 2 times 8 is 16, and then just figuring out how many zeros I gain and lose to get the 160. It's not as hard as it looks. Anyways, 160 minus, what's 0.08 times negative y?
0.08y.
Yeah, 0.08y plus 0.1 y equals 190. 160, what's minus 0.08y plus 0.1y?
0.02y.
Plus 0.02y equals 190. Now what? Minus 160 from both sides. So you're going to get 0.02y equals 30. Now what? Oh, is this a tougher equation, by the way? You'll notice I am showing more work. No, right? I'm not going to take shortcuts with yucky numbers. Divide by 0.02, divide by 0.02, and I get y equals whatever the heck 30 divided by 0.02 is. 1,500? What's x? Can you go back to our substitution equation and do it in your head?
500.
500? So how did I define this? Mr. Dueck invested $500 at 8% and $1,500 at 10%. Is that what it was? Double check. X was 10, X was 8, Y was 10. Yep. I like that question. I like that question. I like that question. I didn't say that. They certainly like it on the provincial because it's, hey, financial, useful math. Well, I would argue, again, not as useful as they think. I don't, but whatever. Okay. What's your homework? Now, if you haven't finished assignment 4, you can work on that, and I'll take questions from that. But I have for you